I've watched a lot of good anime since I became interested in the medium, but this is not one of them. Rather, it was a viewing experience born purely out of morbid curiosity, and it was enlightening, to say the least.
I do not wish to be horny anymore. I just want to be happy.
Honestly, I didn't expect much more than a typical stuck in the washing machine type of plot, and my expectations were not thoroughly subverted. However, I was a little surprised to see the author had more to say than "Don't you wish you had two hot stepsisters who fell madly in love with you and competed for who gets to bounce on your wiener?"
No way.
You see, underneath the multi-car pileup that is this show, there's a somewhat compelling story about a kid who pours his pain and emotional trauma into his chosen art form as a means of processing it. It just so happens that you need industrial grade construction equipment to dig through the Miss Teacher Bangs a Boy storyline, insane plot contrivances, and utterly baffling character motivations to find it. You also have to look past the fact that every main character is a terrible person. I'm not exaggerating either. Protag Kun is a spineless, lying little weasel that plays the two sisters for way too long. Miss Stevenson, as I like to call her, is an adulterer, despite hating her father for being guilty of same, and she's a pedo. Besides them, her younger sister is everything wrong with hookup culture and totally oblivious to the inner workings of the human heart. Needless to say, I'm not really rooting for any of them, and probably the only redeeming characters are their parents. They're both active in their children's lives and concerned with their well-being, though they did raise these psychopaths, so I guess they're not totally blameless. I guess the only scene I did like, unironically, was when Protag Kun managed to keep his hog in his pants with the tragic sad girl school slut once he sees her cutting scars. If only I'd shown similar restraint when courting women with equally alarming red flags. Anyway, allow me to weave for you a brief plot summary. Basically, our boy is in love with one of his teachers, and he is consistently, uncomfortably, pushy when he tries to get her to open up to him during their little meetings on the school rooftop. He eventually becomes frustrated, not only because his love is unrequited, but also because the object of his affection treats him like a child, which he absolutely is. He's like 16, so naturally you'd think this love would remain unrequited, and he'd find a healthier option to pursue. You'd think. Anyway, he agrees to go to a mixer with his friends and meets a socially awkward gal that is clearly not having a good time. He later asks her about her dour attitude, and because this whole show is little more than wish fulfillment, she asks him to have sex out of nowhere. The reason being, of course, that she's been told she can't understand the abstract inner workings of sexual relationships without experiencing it for herself. Naturally, her solution is to bang the first dude she meets with negative riz.
Because you clearly don't look like you're used to this. That's the reason I picked you. I'd be pretty pissed if I was a notch in someone's bedpost.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Afterwards, she hits him with the "K thanks bye" and insists he forget their tryst ever happened. Then, by a cruel twist of fate, and by fate I mean the author's fantasy, Protag Kun's dad marries the Tinderella's mom, and on top of that, her older sister turns out to be the teacher he's in love with. The first episode ends with this fucked up love triangle all living together under the same roof and going to the same school. Obviously, hijinks ensue.
Would you like to know more?
The broad strokes for the rest of the season are as follows. Creepy teacher lady is dating a married dude that's 10 years her senior, so the gang has to get them to break up. Meanwhile, Tinderella hides her true feelings from Protag Kun as she continues to make out with him for funsies while he pursues pedo teacher on his own time. That relationship begins to develop, and there's a super cute, totally not creepy beach scene where they compare their budding relationship to ritual Kool-Aid drinking.
Are you ready, my love? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
What else? Protag Kun catches creepy teacher lady flicking the bean and calling out her ex's name before going back to his room to beat his pud. Then they still end up dating in secret. Tinderella figures out Protag Kun and her sister are together, and then she still tries to kiss him. And then there's the part where the teacher chaperones a school trip, and they meet up in a hotel room to consummate their fucked up relationship.
Next week on Dateline NBC, it's a Dateline special report.
I'm Chris Hansen. You probably know me from To Catch a Predator, where we bust men looking for sex with children. Go ahead and take a seat. Take a seat right over there. Oh, God. Oh, no. What are you doing here?
I'm just being stupid, I guess.
And this leads to one of the aforementioned insane contrivances. Basically, they made out by the window, and one of the group photos taken by the students on the beach caught them in the act, except the photo is mad pixelated, and there's absolutely no way in hell that you'd be able to identify either one of them from that distance. But whatever. Despite shoddy evidence, the teacher is overcome by guilt. Rightfully so, I might add, and the administrators sweep things under the rug before transferring her to another school.
Nice. Nice. So wait, what's the crime? The crime is she isn't doing it with me.
The season ends with Tinderella jumping Protag Kuhn's bones and telling him she's not going to let her sister get in the way of her feelings anymore.
Dude, this is pretty f***ed up right here.
Truly astounding stuff. Oh, and Protag Kuhn gets an award for the novel he wrote after Teacher Lady checked herself into the sex offender protection program and ghosted everyone. I'm not sure any criticisms that I could levy against this show would be more effective than simply summarizing the plot. It's an insane mess, but like a car crash, I can't look away. It's not really because I think the characters are all that compelling. No, it's more that I want to see what sort of unhinged bullshit the writer will throw at me next. This show is a mass casualty event with injuries, see also plot points, that grow more gruesome as you investigate it deeper. But you know what? It's still better than Rent-A-Girlfriend.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here! Get the out of my room! Oh my god! Oh my god! What's wrong?
Now, if you made it this far, thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the video and consider hitting the subscribe button. I plan on discussing a lot more than just the trashiest anime I've ever seen on this channel, so hopefully I'll see you at the next video. Also, for those of you who don't know, this is actually my second channel. You see, I used to be more into the milsim scene, but my jokes got a little too spicy and the channel got nuked. So now I just want to write about the stuff I like, or in the case of this video, don't like. With that in mind, please feel free to let me know in the comments if there's any specific pieces of media you'd like for me to discuss.